under 10.5 on the line.
You have to be the biggest, dumbest idiot.
Josh Allen inside the 10, inside the 5, touchdown, game over.
Going into the draft, I was a big Penix guy. I'm still a big Penix guy. Rashee Rice is way ahead of schedule in his ACL rehab, which is good news for his fantasy managers because the Dallas court system is way behind schedule. That's also good news for local comedian Miles Francis. Oh, hello and welcome to What We Talking About, Jimmy Jakes. I am him. I am sitting here with NFL insider James, and we are here to make you guys some money. I am your reigning defending champion of the regular season. If this is the first time joining us, James and I go head-to-head every week. He presents us with a slate of games. I have a force bet on that game. I don't know what he has before we talk about it. And because I won last year with plus 20, depending on what you get, 21 to 28 units. And I have the hammer of truth and justice, which is, of course, the most coveted award in our podcast. You are the champion of the postseason. I am also champion of the preseason. After week one, I got to say, feel good about Emeka Egbuka or Cam Ward winning the offensive rookie of the year. So that's good news for me. James, how are you feeling so far this season? I beat you in week one with my best ever week one in podcast history. It was 3-3, but last year I was 1-5 and I still was 63%. So historically, my week one is the hardest for me. So losing week, technically based on the podcast parameters, but what do we always say, James?
Just beat the other person?
Nope. What do we always say?
Run the damn ball?
Nope.
Go Lions?
We do say that. Nope. What about the gambling is important to remember?
Shop your lines.
Shop your damn lines. And our podcast followers did get back to me and said, hey, you missed one here, but if you shopped your lines, you hit it. So for now on, we will do our best line. So we're going to pre-shop the lines for you. It's going to be a little bit more wordy when I set up these games, but I think it's going to be worth it because if we ask the audience to shop their lines, we should just do it as podcasters shop those lines for them. So how's that sound to you, James?
Trying to get some CLV value. I like it.
All right. And here's the gong to get us started. You can't hear that.
I hear that. Now I can't hear you, though.
Oh, you can hear me when the gong's going? Okay.
I can't hear you when the gong's going.
Recap of last week. Cardinals cover. The big surprise to me, the big shock to me was the Panthers' performance or lack thereof. Get blown out by the Jags 26-10. They invest in the defense. The Panthers did not help. The only real takeaway I think we can get out of that game is Travis Etienne is all the way back. Colts, easy money. For me, I think we were opposed geometrically to the Colts game. Steelers do not cover, but that is the one game that if you shop that line, you covered the 2.5. I think you could get it at 1.5 or a half a point, depending on when you were looking at it. Lions, which we'll talk much more about in the near future in this podcast, lay an egg in Green Bay. Get blown out by the Packers. Not a good look for our best bet of the week, which was winning last season. Off to a slow start this season, 0-1. Bills, never a doubt. Cover 1.5 for me. I never had a single doubt about the Bills winning that game.
I went to bed after the third quarter ended, and I felt great. And then I woke up and went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, kind of like how the over bettors felt when they went to bed during the delay for the rain in the season opener, Philadelphia and the Cowboys. And we are all aboard for our week 2 picks. And I got sound effects, so there you go.
You just buy a soundboard this week, and you're like, I'm getting my money's worth today.
There's a lot of upgrades. We use a platform called StreamYard to do these podcasts. A lot of upgrades. They just added sound effects. More importantly, and this is really big news, They have recently added a notes section, so I don't have to flip back and forth from my written notes. I only have one screen here. I'm running low on production value here, but now that I have the notes section, it's over for these podcasters. We have all the production value in the world, and we're gonna get to that production value right now with our week 2 slate, starting with Thursday night. Washington at Packers, the Commanders at the Packers. The Packers are 3.5-point favorites at home. The over-under set to 48 or 48.5 points. We did not do well on Thursday night last season, so I'm going to change up the way that I kind of handicap these games, and I've got a great handicap for this one, James. I can't wait for you to hear it. Stats do not matter. Coaching does not matter on Thursday night. I'll tell you what matters when I get to my take. But James, I don't know what you're picking on this one. Tell me what you got. Washington at Green Bay.
Yes. So I guarantee you're purely going off of travel schedule here. That's going to be my guess. 2 Packers.
Wrong.
Questionable on the wide receiver group here. Reed, of course, being the more important one. Washington, if you look at the advanced analytics, ranks higher, but let's be honest, they did not have as good an opponent as the Packers did last week. I truly have this game at a coin toss, and you usually know what I'm going to do when there's a coin toss going around. I am taking the Washington Commanders, who hopefully bring the National Guard with them to this game because that will help a lot, and I'm going to take them at plus 155.
All right, that's a plus money bet there out of James. I agree with you directionally about this game being sort of a coin flip. But like I said, these Thursday night games, doesn't matter who's the best team. Doesn't matter travel schedule. Doesn't matter about coaching. You know what does matter? It's a short week. These players, they're sore. They're tired. They're beat up from the week before, right? And James, as you're the same age as me, right? We're both 31 years old.
I'm 30.
You're still 30. I'm currently 31 years old.
What have you, man?
What have you noticed as, I mean, we're both, if you guys can't tell, and we're not even joking about this, elite athletes. Check our front squat scores from Monday to tell you all you need to know about that. But James, as a fellow elite athlete on the program, what has your recovery been like from the age of, say, 26 to now?
Relying on this now to save my life, along with Ezio chiropractic.
Thank you. Did you need any of that stuff when you were 24, 25, 26?
No, I PR'd. Fun story. I did PR my 2K road time hungover in college. So, yeah, definitely recovered a lot better when I was a young lad.
All right. Well, I've got good news for you, James, or bad news for you if you're taking the Commanders. Packers, 53-man roster, the youngest in the NFL, 25.15 years old average. The Commanders, oldest roster in the NFL, 28.1 years of age. Give me the Packers to cover at Lambeau again. Minus 3.5 points. How do you like that handicap? Are you shaking your boots, James?
This is the greatest, I think, handicap we've ever had. This might be the greatest advanced stat that you've ever pulled out.
Thank you. That's literally the only way I'm going to handicap Thursday night game, because I have a feeling you're going to force me to do them again because I was horrible at them last year, but we were both horrible at them last year.
That's not a strategy. America just wants to gamble on Thursday. Sorry. I
recommend all last season I recommended against following me on Thursday night. So if you did that, you actually had like 70%. So congratulations to you. But I will actually, based off of my handicap that I found for this one, I will allow you to follow me on this one, my loyal podcast followers. Okay. Up next, we got the Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 1.5 or half-point favorites at home. The over-under set to 43.5 or 44 points. James, what do you got on this one?
Well, it was a rough day for the Miami Dolphins last week.
It was bad. Lost the Colts.
Not good. But, that's the Colts. That's our team. They bleed blue. I think Tua had a rough day. I think he's going to bounce back. It is a classic noon game in Miami, and if you know anything about the old Hard Rock, they specifically built that stadium to make sure that the sun shines on the opposing team's sideline. If you look at some of the advanced analytics, Drake May and Tua had almost the same day when it comes to QBR and passer rating, surprisingly, mainly because Tua threw deep balls and gave people a chance to score touchdowns. All of that being said, I think there's going to be less injuries for the Miami Dolphins. I'm hoping that the sun beats down as hard as possible on the New England Patriots sideline because I am taking the Miami Dolphins at -120.
Wow. So fading week 1. Don't want to overreact.
No,
To
never.
week 1. And
Never.
your Miami Dolphins. Now, this might be confirmation bias, or this might be what would it be called? Take lock out of you, because you did have all of the Miami Dolphins preseason future bets on their over, on their Super Bowl, on head coach of the year, who's now the favorite to be fired first. So I don't like that for you because
I feel great. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no
I'm
qualms,
sure,
no concerns.
I'm sure you feel great. Miami Dolphins, a lot of missed assignments. That was the number one thing. Just didn't look ready. Lame duck head coach. Like I said, the odds-on favorite to be fired. Your pick for head coach of the year. Dolphins, obviously blown out by the Colts. Patriots lose to the Raiders as well, who I kind of like the Raiders. I think the Raiders might be an above-average team this year. Offensive EPA per play for the Miami Dolphins, second worst in the NFL in week 1. Patriots were only 12th worst, so not as bad. Defense EPA per play, Dolphins, second worst. Again, this is against the Indianapolis Colts. Patriots, kind of the same, 13th worst, same as kind of like their offense, just like a below average team versus a horrible team. You mentioned the weather, which I am concerned about. I checked it. Here's what's in the forecast. High at 86. It'll be 86 kind of after halftime with a chance of rain. You know how bad those Dolphins are in any sort of inclement weather. And I think Vrabel's boys are going to be pounding the rock. They have 3 elite running backs on that team. So give me the Patriots to cover 1/2 a point. Shop your lines on this one. There's only, I think, 1 or 2 sports books that are offering that. So shop that around. That's 2 disagreements to start this podcast.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy, Alberta. Okay, so are we skipping 49ers and Saints?
I am officially going to bet it and hope that Brock Purdy stays out.
Okay, so you are officially going to bet it. Go ahead. So 49ers at the Saints. Saints are 4.5 point underdogs at home. Opened at 7. So already 3.5 points shifting away from the 49ers to probably fully account for, if not partially account for, Brock Purdy being out. I don't know who the backup is there.
Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac Jones, former Heisman runner-up, University of Alabama quarterback, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. 42.5 is the over-under for this game. What do you got on this one, James?
Well, George Kittle is out. Brock Purdy, I'm hoping, remains out. I did grab this when it was 7, but for our viewers, I will say I'm grabbing it at 4.5 as well. I think the Saints are going to have a bounce-back game at home against a beat-up Niners who don't really have a lot of advantages going on with all the injuries on offense.
Who's the quarterback over there for the Saints?
Spencer, his last name is something to do with a snake. I think it's the Rattler.
Guess what?
What?
He kind of looked like an average quarterback in the NFL in his week 1 opener. Now, granted, the offensive line was a sieve. Maybe his wide receivers aren't the best in the world. Alvin Kamara is still on that team.
He is.
Yeah, I think this is I wish I got it at 7, obviously. And I think if Brock Purdy is out, this line moves maybe another 0.5 point, maybe a full point to 3.5. I don't think it gets to 3. If Brock Purdy is officially out, not looking good, right? We would guess he's out. So seems like that already happening is only halfly accounted in this line. And if he is in, I don't know if I like that either. Him losing a whole week of practice, having a bunch of guys he's never thrown the football to catching balls for him. So yeah, give me the Rattler to cover 4.5. I love it, James. Moving on And here's where the Detroit sports talk rant is going to come. The Bears are going to Detroit playing the Lions. The Lions are 5.5 or 6-point favorites at home. The over-under is at the 47.5 or 46.5 points. This is a noon game. What do you got in this one, James?
There's only one note that I have here because I know you're going to want to take the rest of this. Well, two.
Yeah, I'm going to talk for a little bit.
Jared Goff, where's he playing today?
Where's he playing today?
Tonight. It's Sunday.
Sunday?
Sunday
Yeah, I don't know where he's playing today.
He's playing in a dome.
He's in a dome.
He's in a dome.
And Jared Goff, everyone knows Jared Goff loves dome.
He loves dome.
I'm big on dome too myself. Let's get everybody except for Lambeau in a dome. That's my take on it. And people get mad at me for that on Twitter. Sorry.
Bears are about to be in a dome. They just announced that. And speaking of the Bears, they also played on Monday night. So
they sure did. Short rest.
Last rest against a Lion team that is known for beating up on people. Last week excluded. I like the Detroit Lions at -5.5, and I will turn the floor over to you to talk all about the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator.
Okay, so week one. First, so John Morton, first of all, how'd Bo Nix look? Pass coordinator for the Denver Broncos last season, now the offensive coordinator for the Lions. How'd Bo Nix look last week? Answer me that. Bad. I'll answer it for you. Looked really bad. They win, by the way, on the shoulders of their defense. Dan Campbell, and I'm going to say this one is entirely on Dan Campbell. It's all his fault. And that's not even me talking out of line, because Dan Campbell got in front of a microphone in front of a bunch of people and was like, yeah, that was my fault. You know what? That was my fault. Boys weren't ready. And they weren't ready. And that's why we love Dan Campbell, because he's all about accountability. O-line, D-line. O-line, we have an all-new interior. I think our Glasgow, our left guard moves to center, and then our backup right guard is now playing left guard, and now Ratledge, our rookie with the sweet mullet, is playing right guard. They had 0 preseason snaps together before this season started. And you could tell, missed assignments all over the offensive line. It's kind of similar for the defensive line. They did not get a lot of pressure. They did not look ready. Aiden Hutchinson, coming off an injury, did not look great at all, I would say. The interior line, I would say Freak-a-Leak, Tyleik Williams actually looked kind of all right out of everybody. He looked kind of pretty good, especially in the second half, stopping the run, getting pressure up the middle. So that's good news. But the offensive line, defensive line was not ready for a real-time, game-time situation. Now, to make some excuses for Dan Campbell. Last season, which they got off to a slow start last season too. Remember, they against the Rams, who I think were already banged up, or maybe they got banged up during that game, if my memory serves me correctly. They go to overtime with the Rams, eke out a win against the Rams, and I think they run the ball like 15 times in overtime, score a touchdown. The next week, they lose to the Buccaneers, I believe, at Detroit. So get off to a slow start. Buccaneers also weren't as good as they are this year. Last year, especially early on in the season. So they usually get off to a slow start. This year, even worse, because they go up against a good team in the Packers. Now, I think so. I think they're a pretty good team. We'll find out next week how good they are. But they have joint practices, the Lions do, that they depend upon to get the boys ready. Who were those 2 joint practices against? The Miami Dolphins, and they fucking crushed them. It was an absolute slaughter fest. And it was like, everybody was like, oh, Lions are going to win the Super Bowl because they just murdered the Miami Dolphins. Turns out, Dolphins might not be that good. And the Houston Texans, who scored 9 points against the Rams, who may or may not be that good this season. They look all right on defense, the Texans did. So 2 kind of average teams that you were expecting. Now, after 1 week, maybe we're thinking they're below average teams. So Dan Campbell saw that joint practice like, hey, we don't have to play these boys. They're ready because we just beat up on these 2 average football teams. Turns out those teams might stink. I will say, obviously, revenge game. Ben Johnson over there in Chicago. Everybody, I mean, Dan Campbell got in front of Mike and said, we're still friends. According to my sources, they hate each other. According to my sources, Ben Johnson was getting out of town, whether he's on a head coach or not for another football team, which of course he's obviously is. 2-score lead, they blow. The Bears do. Not good. MCDC, trend-wise, coming off of a loss, elite, against the spread and straight up. Game they need to have. If the Lions lose to the Bears this week, I will change my tune in the Lions. Lions suck. Lions season is over. And it's time to start playing for draft picks next year because at least we got those. So I believe in Motor City Dan Campbell, and I do believe him to cover 5.5 points. All right.
Oh,
So how do you like that? That's an agreement on the Lions.
that is an agreement.
Don't like that. Don't want that to be my best bet of the week.
2 disagreements, 2 agreements.
Oh, did we agree? Oh, I don't want to agree on the Saints either. All right. We're in trouble. All right. Moving on.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger. Moving on. Hopefully we can agree on one of these games that I feel better about.
We got 4 games left. One of these is going to line up.
Lots of games this week. Broncos at the Colts. We're opening up our late afternoon slate, 3:05 Central, which is where we're sitting. The Broncos are at Indy, and Indianapolis are 1.5 or 2.5 point underdog. So wide spread here. The over-under also a little bit wide. Set to 42.5 or 43.5. What do you got on this one?
Well, first off, I would like to mention that if I had started Daniel Jones over Bryce Young in our Dynasty League, I would have beaten you this week. That was brutal. If somebody would have told me that 2 weeks ago, I would have never believed them. But
well, if someone would have just traded Tank Bigsby off the Jags 2 weeks ago, I would have started ETN and slaughtered your ass. So watch what you say.
I like our receiver performances from AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. That was rough.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is our Colts. This is our team. I bleed blue. We're gonna do it for the shoe. I'm not doing the nay part because that's bad. But I would have this Colt team favored if I was making the line for this week. They're at plus money right now, so I got to take them. I'm got Colts plus 110.
Colts plus 110 is what James got it at. Like I said, Bo Nix looked bad without John Morton, even though they won. Colts were second in EPA per play on offense. Of course, that is against the Dolphins. Broncos beat the Titans with a rookie quarterback. They were 25th in EPA per play on offense. However, I don't think it's going to be a very good defense over there for Tennessee when it's all said and done. They were a lead on defense against a rookie quarterback. I will expect them to that kind of hold throughout the season. With the Broncos being at least, like a top 5 defense. The Colts were second in the NFL, again, against the Dolphins in run D. The Broncos were first in EPA per rush. Colts second worst against the run, but again, that was a small sample size because the Dolphins were playing from behind all game. But even when I took out like 7+ yards, so third and 15 situations where you're just running the ball, getting 15 yards, looks good on EPA, doesn't look good in real life, not meaningful in real life. Even when I took that out of the equation, the Colts defense against the run looked actually really bad. This line opened up at 3.5 and then bet down. I think this is a week 1 overreaction, a 2-point week 1 overreaction. So give me the elite defense and give me the team, or let me bet against the team that can't stop the run, and give me the Broncos at minus 1.5 points.
Wow.
I'm not bleeding blue. All right. We're going to agree on this one. We have to agree on this one. All right.
We'll find out.
This is our live stream of the week. We're only doing 1 a week this year, and it's working. We're already up like 20 subscribers, I think, because of the new change that we've had this season. Eagles at Chiefs. The Chiefs are underdogs at home. They are getting 1 or 1.5 points. Over-under set to 46.5 or 47. Our live stream of the week, like I said, tune in, subscribe for that. What do you got on this one, James?
I think this one's pretty simple. Who the heck are the Chiefs going to throw the ball to? My only note in this
Tyquan Thornton.
Oh,
ever heard of him?
No.
Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco.
Pachinko? I love that. That's one of my favorite games on Price is Right. If the Chiefs can somehow get Jalen Royals to play in this game, I'm 100% taking his player prop on catches and yards. Other than that, I don't know who they're going to throw to. I don't think this is going to work out very well for them at all. I'm absolutely taking Eagles at -1. I've also taken it at an alternate spread at -4.5.
Geez, so you're saying blowout by the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles beat the Cowboys in a close game. Chiefs lose to the Chargers in a close game.
Spitgate, without their best player on the team, and they still beat them.
I can't believe they didn't suspend him. Eagles.
Dak spit first.
At the ground. Eagles play Thursday night, but the Chiefs play Friday night on YouTube, which I liked. I liked the YouTube broadcast. I heard a lot of people hated it. And, I get it, Mr. Beast, not for everybody, all that sort of thing. But the actual coverage of the game, Rich Eisen on the call, graphics, just the cuts to the camera, the audio, everything was like, I thought 10 out of 10. The antics outside of that, hit or miss, take it or leave it. I don't really care. And it's like the game's not going on anyway. Like I'm not watching Mr. Beast shoot a fan into out of a cannon, whatever. I kind of like that. Anyway,
they should do that in the middle of the game to block a field goal.
They should have. Marianne Doe should have gotten in that cannon just for fun, even though she won Super Bowl tickets. Industry plant Marianne Doe.
They did not calibrate the machine for the Chiefs band being a little heavier.
He was a little bit thicker. Yeah, he almost didn't make it to the crash pad. Anyways.
That would have been a hell of a lawsuit if he had hit
that. Would have been awesome. Eagles do have the rest advantage, but what do we know about Andy Reid? Pretty smart guy. Pretty good off of bye. Pretty good off of a long week. So Andy Reid got to watch the Eagles play on Thursday night. He played Friday night. And since then, he's been in the lab trying to figure out a way to beat these Eagles. It's a Chiefs game. It's at Arrowhead, at home. And the Chiefs are getting 1.5 points with Andy Reid with extra time to prepare for the game. Give me the Chiefs plus 1.5 football points. James, sorry about it.
Well, good thing I force-fed Brazilian rice and beans to the whole Chiefs team while they're leaving the field. So they're all going to have food poisoning.
Shit. All right.
That's literally what they're doing all week.
Oh, yeah. They both are who was Jalen who was the guy who was like in the hospital with like an IV in him?
Yeah, I love Mess was my actual favorite part of the broadcast. Where they're like, he had a little bit of a stomach bug, not sure what it's from, and then he immediately on Instagram posted, "Don't eat the rice and beans."
I love it.
Ooh, all right, the Brazilian Tourist Bureau may or may not have given Rich Eisen an extra $10,000. Not to mention that
we either got to find an agreement because we're either on the Lions. So I'm a Lions fan, and that was our best bet last week. I don't want to go, and I don't want to bet on Spencer Rattler, even though he's an average quarterback. Maybe. All right, moving on.
I'm going to let you pick first in these next two games.
To the Falcons at the Vikings. The Vikings are a solid 4.5 point favorites at home. The over under set to 44.5 or 45. You can get either of those numbers. James, what do you got on this one?
Well, Penix looked great last week. They might have lost, but he was slaying the ball, and I really like what I saw out of him. The other big note that we got to look at here, Cashman, injured. He's probably one of the most important parts of the Viking defense, asked to do a whole heck of a lot with that defensive scheme. And let's not forget, it's also a short week for the Minnesota Vikings. All of those points, all of those things, I really like the Falcons. I really like the Falcons at plus 185.
All right, a money line bet. Plus 185. That's pretty good. Falcons, of course, lose to the Bucs in a close one. And the Falcons have had their number in the past, so that doesn't make me feel good about supporting the Falcons. Vikings come from behind to beat the Bears after J.J. McCarthy remembered that Justin Jefferson was on his football team. But I'm happy that he forgot for the first 3 quarters because I was going up against Justin Jefferson and I won by like 0.5 point. So thank you to J.J. McCarthy for that. Short rest, like you said, coming off a Monday. And they are a pretty old team, averaging 27.2 years of age in their top 53-man roster. Falcons ranked 21st in EPA per play on defense. The Vikings ranked 10th, which is pretty good, except when you consider that he was playing against dumbass Ben Johnson and the Bears. The Falcons ranked 16th in EPA per play on offense, which is pretty good. The Vikings were 27th because, like I said, J.J. McCarthy didn't decide to throw the football until the fourth quarter. Cover, big spread. What do you have to do? You have to be able to stop the run. The Vikings ranked 23rd on run D and EPA per play. versus DeAndre Swift, who's not good at football. The Falcons ranked 18th in EPA per play, which was ranked better than the Vikings against Bucky Irving, who is good at football. We agree. Give me the Falcons and give me those tasty points at 4.5. And we've got an agreement I feel good about, James. Whew.
I was joking you the whole time. I've taken the Vikings at my
You forced me to putting all my money on Spencer Rattler, aren't you, you son of a bitch? All right.
Oh, yeah.
We might agree on this one. We've got Monday Night Football. It's a doubleheader, which was not on my radar. The Buccaneers at the Texans. The Texans are 2.5-point favorites at all. What do you got on this one, James?
My notes are that Kim Kardashian Baker Mayfield is not going to show up. If you don't get that reference, look up Parks and Rec Kim Kardashian.
I don't get it.
You'll get it after you watch the YouTube vids.
I don't. Big Parks and Rec guy. I'm a pretty big Parks and Rec guy. I don't get that reference.
One of the best outtakes in the whole show. It's all about comebacks and who has the best comeback.
Okay.
I can't believe you don't know that reference. That's pretty crazy. Look, at the end of the day, Tampa Bay just got let back into that game. I don't care how good Baker Mayfield is, how much of a comeback king he is. He's not going to be able to do that against a team that has Alabama graduate D'Amico Ryans as a head coach. Let me tell you. Give me the Texans. The underdog dogs are barking. But
they're pissed that you're taking a favorite in your house.
Yeah. So yeah, they're not the smartest dogs, I'll be honest. But they're taking they're barking for the favorite dogs. -2.5 Texans is my pick.
All right. The Texans, of course, lose to the Rams. They only score 9 points. The Buccaneers beat the Falcons, which is an interdivisional opponent. The Bucs struggle in their division. I think they've lost to the Falcons in 2 games last season and then won the division, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
This is a classic WTF game. Wrong team favored. Baker Mayfield under the lights on Monday night, getting points. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Give me the Buccaneers at +2.5 points.
Wow.
James. All right. We usually do, or at least me, I historically do pretty well in week 2 to 10. So we are right in that sweet zone. I give you full permission to follow me on these bets.
We flip-flopped. I had the worst week 1, therefore I'm going to have the better week 2 through 18.
Yeah, or maybe James just hits that 70% for the rest of the season like I did after week 1 last year. So we'll see how it goes. Bet who you believe in, but hey, who's got the regular season hammer of truth and justice?
The replacement trophy.
This guy. What do you mean? This has always been the trophy.
Thrown out.
This has always been the trophy. All right.
Some of us keep track of their trophies. All right.
Well, we can't see them because you blur your background like a coward. All right.
Can't let you see all my giant sex swing that I have back here. That'd be rude.
Falcons +4.5. Best bet of the week.
Best bet of the week is obviously Saints at +4.5.
What if Brock Purdy gets healthy and he plays?
I will make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. You don't have any inside scoop on this game, do you?
I've sent Mac Jones a crowbar, a baseball bat, and a Thor's hammer, so he can pick which one he wants to use on Purdy if he gets out. You're not at
all worried about Heisman runner-up Mac Jones coming in and the best ever completion percentage in college football history coming in and taking out Spencer Rattler and the Saints?
Unless Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, and Waddle are all suddenly getting traded to the Niners now.
That's a good point. They don't have anybody to throw to.
Or Jameson Williams suddenly comes back as well to them. So that would be the receiving core that he had when he had that completion rate.
They've got to stop Christian McCaffrey, right? Easier said than done.
An injured Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey isn't injured.
Yeah, not yet.
Can we please just take the Falcons? Can we please just take the Falcons?
You can take the Falcons, but if the Saints game wins and the Falcon game loses, I want this clipped on a little reel and just played all week.
Deal. All right. Deal. I'll make a clip. I'll make sure I'll edit it together. I'll send it to you to make sure it fits all of your standards. And it'll be,
my PR team has very strict standards on what can or can't be released on.
That's fine.
TikTok, so.
Yeah, I know. Man, it's really tough getting past your PR team about some of the clips I want to send out.
Cynthia's tough.
All right. So we are best bet of the week officially for our podcast. Falcons at +4.5 at Minnesota, right?
Big Phoenix energy, baby. Oh, yeah.
Frick it. No, let's go Saints. Let's go Saints.
Yes, the Rattler, baby.
Spencer Rattler might be an average quarterback, and his team's healthy. So give me Saints at +4.5 points for our best bet of the week. Don't do double units on these. My dad's doing double units on our best bet of the week. Stop it.
Oh.
Stop doing that. Maybe 1.5 units. Maybe 1.25 units. Maybe 1.1 unit.
5 units, David. 5.
But just follow me and then put like 1 unit on.
5 units, David. All of your money. Take Jamie's entire inheritance and put it on Saints +4.5.
All right. I am 1-0 in our matchup after week 1 of the NFL season. Not a good place for NFL insider James to be, especially when I have the regular season hammer of truth and justice. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like Superflex Dynasty Fantasy Football. Ryan Perio and I just had a 5-guy primer episode that you are going to need to watch because it's really, really good. We cover Nick Harbor, who's a 6'5" track star for who does he play for? Who's Nick Harbor play for?
The University of South Carolina. Go Cox.
Go Cox. Megatron. He only has 3 receptions on the season through 2 games, and he's been on the field every single play. So that's not good. But he's tall and he's fast, so we covered him. So go check that out.
Lenore Sellers is like, hey, go run a go route, and I'm just going to go run behind you.
And join in live Sunday at 3:30. We're going to have Guy back on the casting couch. We're going to have, I think, maybe Kyle, definitely Ryan Perio. I assume you're not free, right, James, for Sunday?
I'll be in.
You're being out of town.
Wow.
Yeah, he's out of town. Okay.
James has to go on another sandals trip. It's so hard.
You're just too rich and successful. You got to stop. You got to stop winning all these gambling bets, James, because I want to get you. I want to get you on the podcast some more. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time.